Hello all, I'm Sneha KG. As a part of my B.Ed curriculum, here I have prepared a learning material based on an adolescent problem. And the topic I have chosen is depression. So let us get into the session. We all have heard the word depression for many times. And what do you mean by the term depression essentially? In simple words or in simple terms, we can say that depression is a mood disorder which causes a persistent feeling of sadness or loss of interest. And this depression is also known as major depressive disorder or clinical depression. And it affects how you feel, how you think, and how you heal, and which can lead to a variety of serious emotional and physical problems. And the depression causes feelings of sadness or a loss of interest in activities that once you have enjoyed, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems, and it can decrease your ability to function at work and at home. Okay, now depression can be mild and short-lived as well as it can be even severe and long-lasting. Also, some people are affected by depression only once, while some others may experience it multiple times. And one of the most important risk factors caused by depression is that it leads to suicide. But it is preventable when appropriate support is provided. And it is important to know that much can be done to help young people who are thinking about suicide. Now the major symptoms, here I'm describing some of the most important symptoms of depression. These include feeling of sadness or having a depressed mood always, loss of interest or pleasure in activities once a person enjoyed, trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, then loss of energy or increased fatigue. Also they are having a feeling of worthless or feeling of guilty. Also, their thinking capacity, their comprehending ability, concentrating and decision making ability will become very, very difficult. And also they always have a thought of death or suicide. Now when we come to adolescent depression or teen depression, signs and symptoms include a change from the teenager's previous attitude and behavior, which can cause significant distress and problems at school or at home, as well as in social activities or in any other areas of life. Now, some of the emotional changes are feelings of sadness, which can include crying spells for no apparent reason. Also, even for very, very small things, very, very little matters, they are having a sense of, they are having a frustration or feeling of anger, and also they feel hopelessness or helplessness or empty, and also they always feel irritable or annoyed mood, loss of interest or pleasure in usual activities, loss of interest in or conflict with the family and friends. Also they feel very low self-esteem. So these are some of the emotional changes. Now when we come to behavioral changes, it also includes tiredness and loss of energy, insomnia or sleeping too much, use of alcohol or drugs, agitation or restlessness, for example pacing, hand wringing or an inability to sit still. Also the thinking capacity, speaking capacity, body movements will become very, very slow. Frequent complaints of unexplained body aches and headaches, which may include frequent visits to the school nurse. Also social isolation, and also poor school performance or frequent absence from school, less attention to personal hygiene or appearance. Also, making a suicide plan or a suicide attempt, etc. So these are some of the behavioral changes caused by depression. And now when we come to the depression in adolescence in more detail, so unipolar depressive disorder in adolescence is common worldwide, but often unrecognized. The incidence, especially in girls, it rises sharply after puberty, and by the end of adolescence, the 1 year prevalence rate exceeds 4%, and the risk is very highest in low income and middle income countries. Depression is associated with substantial present and future morbidity and heightened suicide risk. The most important or the strongest risk factors for depression in adolescence are a family history of depression and exposure to psychosocial stress. Now, some of the causes of depression are issues such as peer pressure, academic expectations, and changing bodies can bring a lot of ups and downs for teens. But for some teens, the lows are more than just temporary feelings. Now, again, one of the most important causes of depression is the brain chemistry. That is, neurotransmitters are naturally occurring brain chemicals that carry signals to various parts of your brain and to the body. And when these chemicals are abnormal, what essentially happening is that function of nerve receptors and nerve systems that will change, which will lead to depression. Another important cause is that hormones, that is changes in the body's balance of hormones that may be involved in causing or triggering depression. The next is early childhood trauma, that is some of the traumatic events during childhood such as physical or emotional abuse or loss of a parent that may cause changes in the brain which increases the risk of depression. Also, yet another cause is the learned patterns of negative thinking. So teen depression is closely linked to learning to feel helpless rather than learning to feel capable of finding solutions for life's challenges. Now, here I am briefly describing some of the risk factors of depression. Many factors increase the risk of developing or triggering teen depression, which include having issues that negatively impact self-esteem, such as obesity, peer problems, long-term bullying or academic problems, etc., or having been the victim or witness of violence such as physical or sexual abuse, having other mental health conditions such as bipolar disorder, an anxiety disorder, a personality disorder, etc., or having a learning disability or attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder, or having certain personality traits such as low self-esteem or being overly dependent, self-critical or pessimistic, being gay, lesbian, bisexual or transgender in an unsupportive environment. So these are some of the risk factors of depression. Again, family history and issues with the family or others may also increase your teenager's risk of depression, such as having a parent, grandparent, or other blood relatives with depression, bipolar disorder, or alcohol use problems. Also, having a family member who died by suicide, having a family with major communication and relationship problems, having experienced recent stressful life events such as parental divorce, parental military service, or the death of a loved one. So these are some of the risk factors of depression. Now the complications of depression are untreated depression can result in emotional, behavioral, and health problems which affect every area of your teenager's life. Complications related to teen depression may include, for example, alcohol and drug misuse, academic problems, family conflicts and relationship difficulties, again suicide attempts, etc. Now, how do we prevent this depression? So as we all know that prevention is better than cure, right? Yes. So we have to take steps to control stress, increase resilience, and boost self-esteem to help handle issues when they arise. Also, we have to practice self-care, for example, by creating a healthy sleep routine and using electronics responsibly and in moderation. Also, reach out for friendship and social support, especially in times of crisis. And also get treatment at the earliest sign of a problem to help prevent depression from worsening. So these are the some of the prevention methods of depression. Okay. Also, we can encourage our teens to avoid relationships with people whose attitudes or behaviors could make depression worse. Always stay active. Also, we have to participate in sports, school activities, or a job which can help keep your teen focused on positive things rather than negative feelings or behaviors. Ask for help if we need. Also, provide continual warmth, caring, and support. Teach and model strong social and emotional skills. Also, encourage positive peer relationships. Also, we have to encourage teens to seek purpose in life. Also, find ways to handle stress and improve your self-esteem. Take good care of yourself, get enough sleep, eat well, and exercise regularly. Reach out to family and friends when times get hard. Get regular medical checkups and see your provider if you don't feel right. Get help if you think you're depressed. So we have seen the problem of depression, how it affects in adolescence, its symptoms, its causes, its risk factors, complications, and how can we prevent depression. So, while discussing all this, we have seen that how depression destroys a person's life, a family, and in turn a society. So, adolescents with depression are at higher risk for substance abuse and other psychiatric comorbidities. In addition, depression disorders with a pediatric onset tend to be more chronic and debilitating than depression beginning in adulthood. As a teen in their developmental stage, it is cardinal that they are receiving care and support from people. Without internal and external support, untreated depression can lead to serious problems and even medical issues if that be the case. Also, teen depression has been an ongoing issue affecting the lives of students academically, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So, these are the references. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice day.